Buzz.
Dale. Trevor.
Huh?
You guys,
Trevor.
You guys have to be
What?
involved.
This would be called Melvin's Light.
Yeah. Melvin's Light.
Nearing the end of your pre-50-50 tour.
Our warm-up across Canada and down the West Coast tour before we do 51 dates tour. And Dale just about ruined the entire show.
Do not do that, Dale.
That
So,
would be good. Be bad.
It's too.
Put it over there on the couch.
let's see. I've known Buzz for about
27,
holy shit,
30 years almost.
30 years.
As long as we've been a band. You basically saw some of the first shows we ever did.
Yeah, I was trying to remember that actually when I was sitting down thinking about this, and I feel like
Why are you still friends with him?
I know
Because we
what
never
happened?
see each other. That's fine.
I see him at least once or twice a decade.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And you can remain on friendly terms under those circumstances.
That's right, exactly. I was trying to remember now, you tell me if this show existed. There was a show, and I feel like it was you guys and the Faction
Yes.
and Youth Brigade.
Yes, that was at the
Graven Image?
Graven Image. That's right.
And I feel like it got closed down before Youth Brigade got to play.
I can't remember. That could very well be the
Youth
case.
Brigade.
I feel like the ceiling was falling down.
That
'cause
was
they had
before Dale actually played with us. That was when we had our original drummer, Mike Dillard.
Oh, yeah. It was Matt.
Matt Lucan, Mike
Matt
Dillard.
Lucan, yeah.
That's right.
And I feel like it got shut down and they set a fire in the street and there was people skating around and
That
just
could be,
weird
yeah,
shit was going on.
I think
I
so.
think that might have been the first time I saw you guys.
Maybe, yeah.
How
that would have
early?
been one of our very first shows, for sure. Very first show we ever played was March 9th of 83.
And I feel like
I
it
don't
was
know.
it was like I went, who the fuck is the Melvins?
Yeah.
And then you guys came out, and I was just talking to the lead singer of
Yeah.
Retox, and
Justin.
one of the things I was telling him was like saying like in every generation I feel like there's like 80% people are just like whatever, and they go between they're waiting for the main band, and there's people like you and me, and so a lot of the people that were in the scene that like we would watch all the bands,
Yeah.
and we'd like invariably find some band that we loved. You know, like I found you guys and I was like, holy shit, who are these Melvins guys that are playing first? I came to see the Faction and Youth
Yeah.
Brigade, and here's the Melvins, and these guys are awesome. So
That was
anyway,
fun.
that's our, I guess that's our awkward high school
attention,
reunion
Trevor,
moment.
come on.
Huh?
Trevor's looking at internet porn. Yeah.
It looks like family
Baby
photos,
porn.
but you know, I guess there is a place for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. There is a place for us.
So, I was actually talking to the gentleman, I don't know his name. What's his name?
Justin.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah. He also plays in a band called The Locust.
We talked about that a little bit too. And one of the things I had mentioned to him was how I don't know if this happens anymore, but it needs to happen, and that is, I feel like everybody used to have like that musical Big Brother. Like it was that guy who somehow showed you something that just sent you down that rabbit hole of weirdness. Like everyone was listening to whatever, Kiss and all that kind of stuff, and we were too, metal. And then like for us, we would go to like Budget Tapes and Records every 3 days. And this guy one day just came out and he said, he handed us a copy of Funhouse.
Oh,
And he said, he gave it to us.
wow.
He said, you need this. Take
You
this.
certainly did need it.
Yeah, I did. We did. He said, take this fucking record. I mean, we were into Motorhead and we were going up into weird shit by that point, but still, we hadn't entered into that realm at all. And he said, take Funhouse. And at that time, still, we had a problem because there's that saxophone on the left or right. So we ramp it to the right or the left, whichever didn't have the saxophone, to try to get the saxophone out. Of course, now we do the opposite.
Exactly.
Because it's amazing.
More saxophone.
That's right. So, oh, no, you're good. So I was wondering, like, who was that and what was that for you guys, each of you?
Band or just person?
Just like, what was brought to you that, like, sent you down the road that you're on now? Was there that thing? Was it your brother? Was it your sister? Was it some weird guy in the neighborhood? Like, what was it you heard that did that to you? I mean, it could have been, I don't know.
I had an older brother. Well, I still have an older brother who's about around Buzz's age, actually, who got me into rock music. And I remember when he brought home a 7-inch of Detroit Rock City, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is cool!" You know, with the intro and all that. And I mean, he got me in a bunch of bands, Blondie and Ted Nugent, and a bunch of stuff.
There's a train of thought. Blondie, Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not usually the progression,
Yeah.
but it could work.
My older brothers were always playing Beatles and stuff like that, so I grew up with that stuff. But you know, and then seeing Kiss on TV, I think was just like, what the hell is this stuff?
Right.
You know, being a kid, it was pretty weird.
Totally.
And then I have another friend who after I was into Kiss and stuff, he's like, oh, you check out this stuff, and he had just gotten Judas Priest Unleashed in the East.
I love that
So
one.
that was just like, holy shit, you know, it's like quite a step up.
That's one of the best recorded live albums. I've heard they actually kind of remixed it afterwards and stuff.
But I heard, yeah, probably. But I heard
That's their best record.
I heard they redid vocals.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
their best record.
I would agree. I remember hearing it on the radio, and this used to happen too. Where they play like they'd release the album and they play it on the radio, and then you'd listen to the whole. You'd wait to listen to that whole album. And I didn't even know Judas Priest, and I listened to that whole album, and I was like, holy shit! And nothing ever lived up to that album. Even
No.
like Diamonds and Rust and shit on there is great.
It's all good. That's one of the
Yeah.
best heavy metal records ever, I think.
What
I
a
still
great
think it's
cover,
good.
you know?
I still think it's good.
Doing a
you
Joan
know?
Baez cover,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
no other heavy metal band would dare to do something like that either.
It was great,
Yeah.
and I love it. And you listen to the Joan Baez version, it's like it doesn't even work. You can't even listen to it after you heard the Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the Judas Priest version before
Yeah,
I
I
heard
did
the
too.
Joan
Oh, I did too. Yeah,
And
totally.
Then I found out, like, who's Joan Baez? And, oh, I have to hear this. And I'm like, being like, I guess it's the same song, but
They saw something in it that worked.
Yeah, sure.
That's where that's
And that's
the
that genius, weird like line. So how about for you, Buzz? Like, what sent you down that?
Cream
rabbit hole?
magazine.
Cream magazine.
That's it. I didn't have any older brothers, and my parents weren't really. They had their hands full with other things other than music. I mean, they liked music, but they weren't. You know.
That's
One
why
thing
I used to subscribe to Cream.
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. I used to buy that all the time.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
yeah. And I just got into it because of rock music seemed interesting, and when I was really young, and so it was 11 or 12, and then I liked bands like Aerosmith and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
on those magazines, I saw these other bands in there about 77 or 78, like the Sex Pistols and the Clash, and solely on the way they looked, I ordered those records out of the back of the magazine.
Nice.
They had a list of things you could buy, mail order. There certainly was nowhere where I lived that you could buy anything.
Right, you were in Montesano.
Yeah, and there was no record store even in that town, so anything that I bought, I either had to drive for it or
A long ass way.
had somebody drive me.
Like
because
Seattle.
Way before, well, Aberdeen. So, but if I
Oh.
wanted weird albums,
Yeah.
I ordered all those online. Or online, through the mail, you know.
That was the thing when you finally got into punk, you could actually do that. Like I remember
That's the only
sending
way I could
just
do it.
sending $5 in cash and a return envelope to like Discord.
Yeah.
And they'd send you back a couple. They say, "Oh, we're out of that single. Here's another one. Here's In My Eyes and a
Yeah.
bunch of stickers." I'll be like, "Okay, that works."
Yeah. Well, this is all way even before that.
Oh, I know. Right. This is like
77,
78.
78,
Yeah.
and then I had all that stuff, and I was on my own for a long time.
Yeah, you were.
And through that, I got into Bowie, and through the Sex Pistols, I got into the Stooges, and all
Right.
those things solely because I was really interested in what these bands were into. And I saw the Sex Pistols did a song by this band called No Fun, so it just kind of went from there. So before I ever went to a punk rock show or knew anyone that was involved in any of those kinds of things, I was interested in this weird music simply because I thought it was cool looking to start with.
Right. Like
Once
I've
I got
never.
past, oh, go ahead.
It was almost like Alien, right? Like you're like, what
Very
the
Alien.
fuck is that? I don't see anything like that around me.
Nothing like that around me. None of the people I knew were interested in any of that kind of thing. None of the kids that I went to high school, even the older kids where I lived, were interested in any of those
Right.
kinds of things. But the Sex Pistols record was something that I thought sounded basically like Aerosmith or Ted Nugent with a different kind of vocals.
It did, or it did, right? It was pretty
It wasn't hard for me to
straight
like.
ahead rock and roll. I
It
mean,
wasn't hard for me to like at all.
it was almost classic rock and roll as far as the way it's structured,
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so that was once I got. And
except for
most-
lyrically and vocally,
Right, but
Like-
most of the people that I played that for couldn't
Yeah,
get past the
can I play
vocals.
that just a little bit?
or the look.
They hated the vocals. They thought it was weird. It was too weird.
Yeah.
But I just kind of went from there. And then,
Yeah.
then I got into a lot of the
Yeah,
other
just a
bands,
little
like later, like 80, and around then you got into a lot of the punk rock bands from
Sure.
California, and I just kind of went from there. And then I realized that those bands were all playing in Seattle.
Right.
So I didn't get my driver's license until 1980. So
Yep.
1981, and I wasn't able to start going to shows up there until around in that area at some point. So then I saw a bunch of bands like TSOL, and
Right.
that was a whole other world. Bands that had never
Same.
sold close to 1 million records.
Nope.
Like the Sex Pistols, or hundreds of thousands of records, or the Talking Heads, and then that whole world of underground music of Black Flag and TSOL and Really Red, and all the bands that we saw in Seattle that I really liked, that were really underground. And then there was and I also went to a lot of big arena rock shows that I liked as well, like Van Halen.
Sure.
Those were all great. I had a great time at those shows, and I thought they were really good. But then I realized that what I really liked was the smaller, intimate nature of what punk rock was
It made it like
was offering.
believable that you could actually be part of that. I think
I thought
that
it
was
meant
part
more
of
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hockey arena.
I remember
It was here. It was like this.
like my dad had to give us a ride because my brother was like 14 or 15, we'd go to, like, Metropolis. I think the first show we saw was like Rejectors Accused and Poison Idea or something. Same sort of thing. You got there and you're like, it felt scary, kind of.
Way scary.
But at the same time, it was like you were alive, and you also like were like, wow, this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, like there's actually other people that like believe the things I believe in, which was weird at that then, right?
You're not on your own.
Like you get your ass kicked for just looking a little punk, you know, wandering around school. There'd be literally like 2 punks in the school, and that was your friends.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever you want to call yourself, weirdos or
none.
or none. Yes, that was
Me
it.
carrying around a David Bowie record in 8th grade. There wasn't a lot of that going on.
In Aberdeen. No.
None of that.
There was one kid that came to school with a Devo hat once, but
And then he was like getting his that was not good.
Now I think he killed a bunch of people.
Well, he only has a couple options. He has to join the band and become the Melvins, or he has to kill people.
Yeah. But that lesson, that punk rock lesson about intimacy, I never lost that.
No.
And to this day, like now, I have far less tolerance for big arena shows than I've ever had in my life.
Right.
I hate those things. I will not go. You know, I want the rare because we still play close to 100 or plus shows a year.
Yeah.
I don't go to a lot of other shows, but the ones I do go to are rarely anything that's above 1,000 capacity place. Rarely, and even then, you know, it really has to be something I really, really want to see. But I've seen a lot of music. I mean, I've been involved in music for most of my life. I've seen a ton of live bands, so it has to be something real special for me to even consider going. You know, and certainly not at the Staples Center or somewhere like that. You know, anywhere that's designed for a sporting event, I think I really don't have any interest in going to a concert. You know.